welcome to TWF Dynamite, or Mike. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone and with Daniel Bryan. And today on Dynamite, or Might, we're going to first, talk about, what happened yesterday on NXT. We know that Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre will fight for the TWF heavyweight winnings, at Wrestle Dream or Wrestle Madness or whatever the name of the show is going to be. But he was seen to be having a bind with Avro Eggman. But one would say it was real. But one would really say that it was one-sided. Michael Cole says. Well, you'd be true about that, Michael. Tony Schiavone says it would be a one-sided match. Avro Eggman believing that he is helping Drew McIntyre. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I don't think that Drew McIntyre would be happy that he thinks someone is helping him out. Well, you'd be right about that, Michael and Tony. At the end of the day, Drew McIntyre hasn't really said anything since he hasn't showed up lately to say anything about it. But as we do know, he's most likely upset, that Cody Rhodes, that Cody Rhodes has the right to fight him, Daniel Bryan says. And we wonder just how long this is going to go. Because sooner or later, they will meet. Whenever that's going to be. Well, you're right about that one, Michael Cole says. At the end of the day, sooner or later, Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre will meet each other. And we know that well. Now, here comes Goldust. See, the Doomsday has a lie. And I can bring out that lie. They want to tell you all that they're all one for all and all for one. But that's not true. If that was true, then they wouldn't have, kicked me out after I had Azeeb's beat. And I didn't only beat Zeebs once, I beat him more than once. Well, so that's the lie that they, want to show. They want folks to think that they're this good team. But at the end of the day, I know unlike. And you had your forgivenesses for why you believed I wouldn't fit. Why? You didn't think I would fit because of the makeup that I wear? Is this like some kind of Is this like, some kind of, dooming thing? You got something against me because I happen to wear makeup? Or do you think I wouldn't fit your team? You see, you folks, at the end of the day, there is truly no unlikeness between you and how the NWO handled folks. I know you like to think that you're so unlike them. But at the end of the day, you're not. Now hold on here. Don't even start, Goldust. You wanna know why you wouldn't fit the Doomsday? Yeah, because you can't keep You can't do anything, Ernest. Everything is some kind of mind game for you. Yeah? Is that what you think? Where is Zeeves at? Where's that one that you said that you took him over me when you know that I beat him? Well, that's for us to know and you to seek out. See, it's not truly your business, to know where Zeeves is at, where he is or is not at. But let me tell you something. You think that you're so cool, and you think you can beat us? Well, what happens if the two of us, fight the one of you? Yeah, I know you think you're not going to win. Well, I'll take you both on. And I'll take Aziz on, wherever he's hiding at, too. Hell, I'll take on all three of you. Because I know you happen to be here somewhere. And I know you folks think that you're this really good kin. But if you truly fought the way you fought, you wouldn't have kicked me out. You would have brought me into the doomsday, like you did to Aziz. And hey, let's talk about Alberto Del Rio. You kicked him out. So don't talk about, you having this cool stand here, when we all know you don't. Hey, first off, Alberto Del Rio chose to walk away. Two with, we don't even know where Azim's at. And we can handle this, on our own. Oh, so you don't know where Azim's at, right? Well, that's alright, Theodore Long says. Because I can always have it. But Goldust, I do think it's going to be truly unfair for you if you go in and you don't have any, you go in and you don't have anyone watching your back. We all know the Doomsday got folks watching their back. And even if they lie and say they don't, they always do. So, unless you can seek yourself someone out there to team up with. No, don't do this to me, Theodore. I can take them on. Yeah, I can. I can take them on by myself. Alright then, Goldust. But that's shit. Alright. Hold it, Theodore Long. He said he wants to fight all three of us. I'd say let's fight all three of us. Only have it and be a row match, where he gets to run through all three followers of the Doomsday. Then you're on. Alright, I don't like it. It will be Goldust running the row against Finn Balor, Ricochet, and Aziz. And one most likely would think that Goldust, made a mistake, Michael Cole says. And maybe his heart got ahead of his mind, some would say. Well, let's just say about that. Goldust wants to show everyone that the Doomsday thinks they're this bonded team. We know they're not, Michael Cole. So that's right, Tony Schiavone said. Some might scathe Goldust and say running the row against all three followers of the Doomsday is crazy, and that at the end of the day, there's no coming back from it if he loses. Well, some might call it crazy, Daniel Bryan says, but we also saw Steve Austin do it once. We saw Ahmed Johnson do it once. We even saw Val Venus do it once. Running the gauntlet is not always as smooth as it looks. Goldust taking down Ricochet. And Goldust wants to show folks he thinks the Doomsday is lying, Daniel Bryan said they are. If they were about that brotherly, sisterly love, as they all talk about, then they would have had room for Goldust as well as Eves. And Goldust taking down Ricochet, Michael Cole says. You're right. One could say that the Doomsday are lying, that they say one thing but do another by kicking Goldust out. And Goldust just missed. Well, Tony Schiavone says the Doomsday, they behave like the Nexus, like the Ace and Aids, like the like Retribution or the Uprising, or even just like the NWO. They have a belief going that they are truly great. And Ricochet coming back right now. Ricochet just hit. Goldust is going to get Ricochet. The Sheik call. The Sheik call. Since curtains, a French is barred word. The English word, the Sheik call. And Goldust is going to have Ricochet beat here. 1, 2, 3. Well, even though he may have beat Ricochet, he now has to go in the ring against Finn Balor. And let's be truly earnest about this. Finn Balor doesn't like Goldust at all. Finn Balor and Goldust have warred against each other towards Goldust's last run in WWE when they both started warring against each other. And Goldust taken down right now. And Finn Balor believes he has Goldust where he wants him, Michael Cole says. I mean, yes, it's true Finn Balor has been, the word of Goldust in the past. Oh! And Goldust is now putting Finn Balor up near the ropes now, and the fight keeper had to make scene that Ricochet was gone, and now he just did a curtain call. Oh! He just did the shattered dreams. Oh! Ding. Well, the fight keeper's going to let him do it, though. And now, Goldust, he's got Finn Balor. He's also taking care of Finn Balor. Finn Balor is out now. 1, 2, 3. And now Finn Balor's out. And he's only running 3 followers of the Doomsday. He doesn't have to fight for Raquel Gonzalez or Roxanne Perez or Aaliyah or any other new followers of the Doomsday if they happen to show themselves one day. Aziz's coming in right now, and Goldust going after Aziz. But now Aziz just picked Goldust up and slammed him, Michael Cole says. Well, now it's getting harder now, Tony Schiavone said. I mean, we're not going to take anything away from Goldust, but it's now becoming harder for Goldust to keep it up. He has no rest. He went through Ricochet and Daniel Bryan, and Ricochet and Finn Balor. Daniel Bryan said running the row can take it out of anyone. No need how good you are. These row matches are not for the weak of heart, Daniel Bryan says. And Goldust thinks he got the edge, but now Aziz's now got Goldust and just slammed him down. Well, ladies, is enough of it. 1, 2, 3. Ding. Here is your winner, the Doomsday. Even though Goldust had beat Ricochet and Finn Balor, he lost to Aziz, Michael Cole said, so that gives the Doomsday this win. Well, that is true, Tony Schiavone says, but Goldust has nothing to feel ashamed of or guilty of. You know, he beat 2 out of 3, and I don't know if that goes to back up his belief that the Doomsday isn't as forewarned as they would want, folks to believe. Well, they're truly not forewarned, and I'll tell you why, Daniel Bryan says. Tony and Michael, if they truly were forewarned, or if they truly were open-minded as shit. If they truly were forewarned, as they like to tell folks, or at least open-minded and welcoming. Fuck. Then at the end of the day, they would have made room for Goldust instead of, kicking him out like they did. Well, you bring up a good grounds. You bring up. Fuck, well, he's not gonna fit now. Well, now you bring up the good grounds of that, Michael Cole says. One of these days, you bring up those good grounds, Daniel Bryan, because if they were open-minded and welcoming, then Goldust would have been welcomed into their gathering. Michael, so you got that right, Daniel Bryan. You got that right, Tony Schiavone says. If they were that open-minded, they would have welcomed him with open arms. But as you know, they didn't do that. Well, we'll take it away now to Mike today. All right. Thank you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Goldust here today on Dynamite or Mike. All right, Goldust. I know you didn't win the road match. You must be kind of really sad about that. Well, Mike, today I beat 2 out of 3, and I just showed everyone that the Doomsday isn't this, welcoming arm, as they like to call it. If they were, they would have not kicked me out and kept Aziz in. They would have looked their word, their oath, their deal. And I'm not done with the Doomsday. Not from a long shot. Goldust, if the Doomsday would have welcomed you into their team, how do you think you would have fit in that team? Well, it's hard to say, Mike, today, how I think I would have fit in that team or not. That's hard to say, because I was in the NWO 2002. I was 2002, YL's NWO. I was a Goldust toll that the NWO didn't want to yield. And the only way they knew how to get me out was by kicking out Booker T. But I would never known, because the NWO was not welcoming at all. Not Kevin Nash, not X-Pac, not Big Show. Only my teammate and team friend, only my friend Booker T was that welcoming. The Doomsday was the same way. Only instead of the NWO lying to me, having me on the team, and then kicking me and Booker out, they lied to me and told me that if I won the match I was in, which I did, and then I got kicked out as soon as I was in. But as I tell you, the Doomsday will not forget the name of Goldust. Well, Goldust says the Doomsday made a mistake by kicking him out when they did, and he's still at war with them. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Mike Lane. I'm going to thank you, Mike, today for talking with Goldust here today on Dynamite or Mike. And that's all the time we got here for Dynamite or Might. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone and Daniel Bryan. We hope you like Dynamite or Might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Thursday Night Impact or Hit.